Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Indie Kid coming at you. This is the day after Vanderbilt edition. I'm coming at you on behalf of Talkin VAWLS. Talkin VAWLS comes at you Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then you'll see the guys as they'll be doing the post-game show next Saturday after the Texas A&M game. Texas A&M game is at 12 p.m. Eastern Time next Saturday. But make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. And watch out for the new basketball content coming this week as well. As tomorrow I'll drop the Orange Blazer, and then JP and Dauber will be dropping some Talkin VAWLS basketball shows this week as well. So a lot of content coming at you on the channel, and a lot of Vols stuff as we transition from football to basketball right now as well. And then if you're a wrestling fan, you can check out the Wrestling Council Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time as well. Need to throw that plug in there as well for Boogie. But Tennessee 42, Vanderbilt 17. It's been a while since I've come on here to talk about a win. And, let's don't go acting like everything's all right in Knoxville now. Tennessee did do what they were supposed to do yesterday. They come out a little bit of a back and forth first quarter, but then they took care of business after that. Last week I posed the question, what has Jeremy Pruitt done that gives you confidence in him going forward? And not a single person answered that for me. I know, listen guys, I might be crazy, but I'm not stupid. Okay? I know he's I know there's a pretty good shot he's coming back. I know why he's coming back. Listen, people said, well, you got to give him more than 3 years. You don't have to give him more than 3 years. Arizona just fired Kevin Sumlin before the end of the third year. It happens. Tennessee got rid of Derek Dooley at the end of the third year. If it's not working, you don't prolong it. And, once again, I've not seen, you can't give him 3 years. Well, there's budget. I know all the reasons, okay? I'm perfectly aware of every reason that he's going to come out. Philip Fulmer doesn't have the guts to make the change, number one, because that would mean he was wrong. Number two, I understand COVID. I understand law. My wife is a professor in a pretty large university system that's an SEC school. I understand, okay? Stop telling me about all the lost money and this and that. I understand that. I'm perfectly aware of how it works. I'm perfectly aware that Philip Fulmer wants to give Jeremy Pruitt more time. I'm perfectly aware that millions upon millions were lost this year. I'm perfectly aware there is a freaking pandemic going on called COVID that continues to go on because people won't do what they're supposed to do. But that's another topic. But anyhow, again, what decisions, what development, what have we seen from Jeremy Pruitt in year 3, in the first 3 years, that gives you confidence in him going forward? I don't want to hear he needs 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, that's your opinion. That's fine. What has he done that tells you that he will get better in those years? Does a coach get better from year to year? Absolutely. We're seeing the same mistakes in year 3 that he made in year 1, though. I mean, people are legitimately upset yesterday, and I'm kind of in the same boat with it. We just watched 2 quarterbacks play some pretty good football. And I'll get into the quarterback stuff here in just a minute. But why could we not have let these guys grow this year? I understand why you started the year with number 2. I understand it. But there was a point where it was done with. And, there's an argument that, maybe you should have looked grad transfer route. Maybe you should have went a different route last year. And, there's a whole lot of ways you could have went with this quarterback thing. I just think it's been mishandled so badly, and that is the main reason people are upset with Jeremy Pruitt. That's the main reason right there. I think when you lose some of the guys you lost on defense, you've got to expect there's going to be a drop-off. Okay, and that's all right. I don't know that we've seen much improvement is the only thing of it, but that's not an excuse for a veteran secondary to continue to stink. Now, I know Warrior was a big loss there from about the fourth game last year on. Prior to that, I mean, I don't know that he had played that well either, but I mean, toward the end of the year, he was as good as it was at safety, and it was a big loss. There's no doubt about it. But the corners continue. I just haven't seen the development out of them this year. I've just not seen a lot of development. Period. The defense played better yesterday, and it's played probably since maybe the best game of the year. I thought they played okay against Missouri. Not great, but okay. The defense it's had its moments this year. I think there's some games where it's just tired out and stuff. But the main thing it all comes back to is the mismanagement of the quarterback position. And Harrison Bailey, 14 out of 18, 207 yards. He had the one fumble. Very, very questionable. I think it was a horrible call yesterday. A horrible call. Arm clearly going forward. The ball comes out. If you disagree, that's fine, but you're wrong. That was an awful call. That should have still been Tennessee's ball. The fact that they, it's one thing to call it in live motion. It's another thing when you review it and don't overturn it. Ridiculous call right there. And but 14 out of 18, 207 yards. My only complaint with Harrison Bailey was at times I felt he held onto the ball too long. And I think that's a thing with Tennessee quarterbacks is they often do that. But also, too, that goes back to an offensive line that's just totally underperformed again this year. And, I'll get into coaching moves here in just a minute. But I thought Bailey looked good. Made some good throws, showed some good arm. I thought J.T. Shrout did some good things. A little less accurate, but, man, he has got a cannon for an arm on him. He has got a cannon for an arm with him. And, I know people were upset, wondering what was going on. That's a hard – I will give Pruitt the benefit of the doubt when you're going in saying both guys are going to play. You've got to find that time if you're – because there's not a set time, well, he's going to play the first two possessions and then we're going to switch and so on. You've got to go with feel, and I understand that a little bit. I don't have a problem with how he did it. And, it's kind of odd. I know people are like, well, Bailey was 7 out of 7, had missed a pass. But, they did say Shrout was going to get in. Whether it was the fumble or not, I didn't have a problem with them letting Shrout come in, I don't know if Bailey was pissed off or anything. I'm sure he is at that point. Maybe let him cool down and watch it for a minute. But he did a good job. Again, there's no right thing. I mean, I would have had no problem at all with Bailey going right back out there at that point either. But they did say both quarterbacks were going to play. I thought Shrout did some good things. He was 6 of 13 for 90 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Obviously, a lot less accurate than Bailey was, but I did see good things out of both guys. That gives me confidence next year. If they both stick around, which hopefully they do. But who knows in this world today with quarterbacks and their ability to transfer. Who knows what what options UT pursues next year. But with all that said, Tennessee went for 540 yards, best offensive day of the year. Like what I saw of Velus Jones, Jalen Hyatt. Got Princeton Fant, got his first career touchdown yesterday. Bailey, I liked just some of the stuff I saw out of Bailey. He knew his surroundings. Again, my only thing was probably needs to get rid of the ball a little bit sooner, but I think that'll come with time. That's really his, even though he's played in 4 or 5 games at this point, he's only played extensively in 2 games. And just, you saw improvement with him from last week to this week. How much could these guys have improved? And here's where it all comes to. How much could these guys have improved if they'd been playing all year? Okay? You're going to play, you're going to practice and this and that, but it gets stagnant. It gets stale. I get it. I've coached, in baseball. I know it's not the same thing. and stuff like that. But it gets stagnant. But where you see real improvement is playing in games. That's when the lights come on. That's when the players play, and these guys are showing a little bit in the games right here. And just the mismanagement of that position is, and I think it goes back 3 years. I still say it goes back to the first year. I think quarterback decisions cost them a bowl in year one. I think the quarterback position was probably mismanaged a little bit more. I think where they messed up last year is there should have been a grad transfer come in. Maybe I understand a little bit more this year. There definitely should have been one last year. And the argument could have been made for one this year as well. But, what I just don't know, guys, that I've seen. What I've seen out of Jeremy Pruitt is a guy that gives me confidence that 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road, 6 years in, I'm sorry, not down the road, but that this is going to be a guy that's going to win a lot of games down there. I could see where there'll be years he could win. There'll be years that like this one. And, it's still possible. Who knows, next week against Texas A&M, upsets happen. Who would have thought LSU would go beat Florida last night? Maybe Missouri will have a guy throw a shoe 20 yards down the field, but which is insane. Who knows? I mean, you got to expect A&M's probably going to be a double-digit favorite next week. And then, I mentioned earlier, I fully suspect and expect that Tennessee will go to a bowl game this year. Records are out the window. There's already teams declining bowl invitations. Tennessee's already stated, I heard Jeremy Pruitt state they will accept a bowl. And they've made it come out this week that all the coaches would decline bowl game bonuses. So I fully expect Tennessee's going to have 2 more games, and you can't blame them for accepting a bowl game. Has it been a rough year? Absolutely. It's been an awful year. But, especially with all the practice time missed by players with COVID and this and that, and you can't blame them. You just can't. And that's time that they get. And then I would imagine as well that your early enrollees will get to practice also. I don't think that has changed as well. And then, you're going to have some guys that finishing up. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if you go to bowl, if some of the seniors that's moving forward maybe opt out and go ahead and sit out the bowl and start getting ready for their next step, whether they're trying to go to the NFL or maybe whether they just go ahead and pursue their professional career. I wouldn't be surprised either way on it. And, you can't blame these guys either way with it. If they're ready to move on to their next step in life or something, if they've already completed all their degrees, they can, excuse me, if they can move on to their professional goal, you can't blame them. You can't blame them one bit on that, whether it's NFL or whether it's just out getting a job in their major or their profession of choice right there. Getting a little tied up here, but again, I fully expect Jeremy Pruitt's going to be back next year. The question is, who comes back with him? There's a case, I think, that I know Chris Winkie is the one everybody says, well, he has to go. But, we don't know what we don't know. We've not been able to see development because we've seen the same quarterback for 4 years doing the same thing. And we just have. I thought last year we started seeing improvement out of quarterbacks. Obviously, coaches are going to take the blame. I'm not sure it goes beyond Jeremy Pruitt. I think the coach that next deserves the most criticism behind Pruitt's Will Friend. That offensive line's been a joke this year. You can't sit here and tell me they need more time with that line. It's all 4 and 5 star guys starting on the line. What's the excuse? Give Will Friend 2 or 3 more years development? Give me a break, man. All right. Now, I know some of these younger guys didn't get probably, they're still going to shed some bad weight and put some good weight on. But, I think Chaney deserves, I think his play calling has sucked this year. And we can sit and say Pruitt's We don't know. There's speculation, and there are people who know that's out here on these message boards and stuff. There's people who want to act like they know, and they don't know any more than any of us do. And, they're fans just like the rest of us giving their opinion. But, I don't think there'll be a mass exodus of coaches. In a good year, there's normally coaches leave, whether it's a promotion. And you want guys to get promotions. If you've got a receivers coach, running backs coach, or something, if they get an offensive coordinator or even a head coach opportunity, you want that. That's showing you've got a good program going on. You don't want like Philip Fulmer's last year where nobody wants any of his assistants or anything, and nobody wanted John. Well, people took Chavis, but that was a different time, obviously. But we'll see where they go moving forward. Again, I fully suspect Jeremy Pruitt is going to be back. I expect it'll happen. I expect there will be some change. I don't know that it'll be massive changes. Attrition's always going to happen. Attrition's going to happen in a signing class. I think really there was some they didn't want to lose. I think there was some mutual parting of the ways there, just based on what I've read on Go Vols 24/7, just from some of their mods that, I'm not going to name names of players or anything that they had recruited, but there were some they didn't want to lose and they're still fighting to keep, and there's some that they parted ways with. And, according to what I've read on there, they want to make some room for possible grad transfers next year. And I think that's a good move as well. I think you're close to having a decent football team. Main thing, these quarterbacks need to continue to progress. Your defense needs to get a lot better as well, but they need players. And but we'll see moving forward. Again, I fully expect 2 more games for Tennessee. If Jeremy Pruitt, it'd be good to maybe salvage us 5 and 6. I don't see it. I see best case probably at this point is 4 and 7, but I hope I'm wrong. I definitely hope they end up 5 and 6 with a win over A&M and a bowl game. But again, when we get into the Pruitt debate, what qualities has he displayed that gives you confidence he'll improve moving forward? Because there's been a heavy issue, a heavy case of stubbornness, reluctance to change, maybe meddling too much. And I understand that. I understand as a head guy, you're the one overseeing it, and it's hard to not be involved in everything. But sometimes you got to let go a little bit. But again, I appreciate you guys tuning in this week. Leave me a comment. Leave me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit subscribe on there as well. A lot of content coming this week, but one regular season game left next week, Texas A&M at 12, and then again, I fully expect there'll be a bowl game as well. It wouldn't surprise me if if it's Memphis or the Liberty Bowl or maybe Music City takes Tennessee. Maybe they don't, but somebody will. You wait and see. But you guys take care, stay safe, do your part out there, and so we can move on in life. I think we're all over everything that's going on right now, but let's all do our parts. Let's look out for one another, love one another. I'll see you guys next week. Take care, and go Vols.